So Georgetown is buzzing with excitement as Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to visit Guyana. Adding to the vibrancy of his visit, a local cultural dance group is set to showcase a stunning performance. They have poured their hearts into rehearsals. While speaking with DD India, they share their emotions on how they are feeling and how excited they are.
Minister Narendra Modi is all set to embark on a state visit to Guyana. And I have with me here a cultural dance group who will be performing for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let's ask them how excited are they.
I am very excited. I'm anxious as well.
I'm very, very excited because since 1 year I was waiting for this visit, and I'm really glad that we got this opportunity to perform in front of him.
I'm so excited, and our practice is going on, 12 hours, 13 hours, and we are so glad and so excited to see our dear Prime Minister in this beautiful country.
I'm very excited because this took a lot of work.
Actually very excited. It's honestly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so I'm really glad to be a part of it.
I'm really excited. I'm a bit anxious too, because who wouldn't be anxious to be performing in front of the Prime Minister? And as it is about our Indian culture and traditions, yes, we celebrate most, if not all, of our culture and our traditions and our festivals in Guyana.
So you saw this is the dance group which is which will going to perform in front of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and they say that they are nervous, but at the same time they are very excited as well. Indeed, it's a historic state visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. To be very precise, after 1968, this is the first time when an Indian Prime Minister is coming to Guyana. It will certainly give a boost to the bilateral ties between both the countries, and excitement, as you saw, is in the air. With camera person Senthil, this is Siddharth Bhardwaj reporting for DD India in Georgetown, Guyana.
And Guyana hopes to expand its cooperation with India into newer areas such as energy and food security, technology and military hardware. In an exclusive interview to DD India's Ramesh Ramachandran, Guyana's President Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali says that he has personally witnessed the transformation of India under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Global leadership does not happen by accident. Global leadership occurs when you have strong local leadership in the country itself. And Prime Minister Modi has demonstrated a strength of leadership that has really positioned India globally and has opened up many opportunities for India and a greater level of regard for India. So what I've seen in India is a country that is accelerating at a rapid pace.
And President Ali says that he wants Guyana to benefit from India's success in the fields of digitalization and innovation.
Within the coming weeks, we will launch our Forest Guyana Digital School, which is built off of an Indian platform. We have thousands of students studying online at various Indian universities. So what I would say is that a lot of the technological advancement in improving governance efficiency, improving access to service, expanding access to service that you have mastered, of course, we want to learn and to adopt those technologies here.
And you can watch the full interview of the President of Guyana at 9 a.m. India time, that is 3:30 GMT on Wednesday. And DD India correspondent Siddharth Bhardwaj tells us why this visit is significant. All right, we'll come back to it, but Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Guyana will strengthen bilateral ties across various sectors like trade, energy and agriculture. And to discuss the significance of this visit and India's growing partnership with Guyana, DD India's Siddharth Bhardwaj spoke exclusively with Dr. Amit Telang, India's High Commissioner to Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
I've been joined by India's High Commissioner to Guyana, Dr. Amit Telang. It's an exciting moment for both India and Guyana. Incredibly pivotal moment for both the countries, isn't it?
A visit at the prime ministerial level is happening after almost 5 decades, 56 years to be precise. And there's a lot of excitement, a lot of optimism.
What do you have to say about diaspora's role, in bridging the gap between both the countries?
Traditionally, our two countries, they are very closely bound because of the culture, the common culture and traditions. and the fact that many of the Guyanese, they consider India still as their motherland because their ancestors came from India, and that connection in fact is still alive.
Guyana is experiencing a significant transformation in terms of its economy thanks to its booming oil sector. Could you tell us about how this visit will strengthen the energy ties between India and Guyana?
Since 2019, when the actual exploration and the oil extraction started in Guyana, today Guyana is one of the major producers of crude, and in the coming years probably the production is going to increase even more than that. And on the other hand, there is India or Bharat, for example, because we are also one of the fastest growing major economies. We are the major I would say in terms of development as well. We are experiencing a very fast growth, and we have a lot of demand for oil. So we are among the major consumers of oil today. So we are natural partners, I would say, because Guyana is a major producer, we are a major consumer, and the kind of relationship that we share, I think it's a win-win situation.
MOU, like you just mentioned, hydrocarbons, and MOU was approved by the Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in hydrocarbon sector. What if it goes through? What benefit both the countries will get?
We have proven expertise when it comes to many of these areas, and already there's a lot of cooperation happening. We have received requests from the Guyanese side, especially for example in skill development, because this kind of activity requires a lot of technical expertise, a lot of infrastructure, and we will be in a position to provide that to Guyana. Even if we talk about, say, petroleum engineering and exploration and many of the allied areas, we can work in that area. So I think MOU of course is very much on the anvil, but I can also say that the cooperation has been ongoing. A lot of engineers from the Ministry of Natural Resources and other agencies, they are going to India, they take courses in India under the ITEC program and various other options that we offer. So I think already a lot of cooperation is happening, and it will increase further as an outcome, of course, of this MOU, but in general also as an outcome of this visit.
Well, thank you so much, Ambassador, for giving your valuable insights today.
And how this visit and why this visit is so significant and special and important, DD India's Siddharth Bhardwaj tells us why.
This is the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister in over 5 decades. On the agenda are several key moments, beginning with the delegation level talk between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Irfan Ali. President Irfan Ali visited India in 2023 and participated in the 17th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, where he was also awarded Pravasi Bharatiya Samman, and he is keen to strengthen ties with India. One highlight of the visit is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address to Guyanese Parliament, a gesture which underscores India's commitment to democracy and strengthening people-to-people ties. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also be meeting the vibrant Indian diaspora, who contributes to the diverse social fabric of Guyana. The visit also features the second India-CARICOM Summit, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be meeting the CARICOM member nations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also pay floral tribute to the statue of Father of the Nation Mahatma Gandhi, and he will also be meeting some prominent personalities from the Caribbean. All in all, this will be a significant visit by the Indian Prime Minister, which is poised to reinforce the strong foundation of India-Guyana relations and will also expand India's presence in Caribbean. With camera person Senthil, this is Siddharth Bharadwaj reporting for DD India in Georgetown, Guyana.
And the group of 20 economies on Tuesday wrapped up their two-day meeting, underscoring the need for collective action to combat climate change, poverty and other global challenges. On day 2, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a session on sustainable development and energy transition, emphasizing the need for collective efforts to build a sustainable future. Details in this report.
And with this, the 19th G20 Summit ended on world's major economies working on deepening global cooperation with one aim, a better future. G20 leaders' declaration focused on sustainable development, growth, fighting poverty, and harnessing technology.
Declaration focuses on hunger and poverty, it focuses on climate and energy, it focuses on developmental issues, it focuses a lot on accelerating the pace of sustainable development goals. There's been a huge emphasis on climate and energy also, but it also focuses a lot on a major component of this was geopolitics. The declaration has underlines the immense human suffering and adverse impacts of ongoing conflicts.
With focus on fighting poverty, the G20 summit in Brazil was mostly focused on ways to tackle poverty and hunger. India also joined the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty. India is one of 147 founding members of the alliance.
Leaders of G20 were invited, countries and heads of international organizations, they were all invited. Then they have participated and launched the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty. And India has also joined this alliance as one of the 147 founding members. This includes about 81 countries, the African Union and European Union, 24 international organizations, 9 international financial institutions, and 31 philanthropic and non-governmental organizations.
On day 2 of the summit, leaders participated in a session on sustainable development and energy transition. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the session and welcomed Brazil's decision to take forward India's sustainable development priorities. Prime Minister Modi elaborated on the steps taken by India to foster sustainable development. PM stated that India has provided housing to 40 million families in the last 10 years. He added that 120 million households have been provided with clean drinking water in the last 5 years. PM highlighted that India was the first G20 country to meet its Paris climate goal commitments. Prime Minister spoke about the global initiatives taken by India, such as the International Solar Alliance, Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, Mission Life, One Sun, One World, One Grid, and Global Biofuel Alliance to foster a sustainable planet. Prime Minister urged countries to support the Global Development Compact announced by India at the 3rd Voice of the Global South Summit. On the sidelines of the summit, the Declaration on Digital Public Infrastructure, Artificial Intelligence and Data for Governance were adopted. These offer a roadmap towards a more sustainable planet. With inputs from Gautam Rai, Bureau Report, DD India.
All right, we are slipping into a very short break. Keep watching our special broadcast, PM Modi in Guyana.
19th G20 meeting taking place in Rio on the 18th and 19th of this month. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be participating here as well, along with the leaders of the world's 20 largest economies who will be deliberating on key issues such as eliminating hunger and poverty, sustainable development. For all the latest on the 2024 G20 Summit in Rio, join me, Gautam Roy, only on DD India.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching our special broadcast, PM Modi in Guyana. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. And after attending the G20 summit in Brazil, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will arrive in Guyana in a short while from now. PM Modi will be the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Guyana in nearly 5 decades, and to be precise, in 56 years. And during his visit, PM Modi will co-chair the second India CARICOM Summit alongside the Prime Minister of Grenada, the current chairman of CARICOM. in the presence of leaders from all CARICOM countries. The Indian Prime Minister is also scheduled to hold delegation-level talks with President Irfan Ali and address the National Assembly of Guyana. And the excitement is palpable in Georgetown, Guyana, as the Indian diaspora eagerly awaits for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's arrival. DD India's Siddharth Bhardwaj spoke with the members of community at the very venue where the Prime Minister will soon make his appearance. They shared their overwhelming joy and pride, calling this moment a historic opportunity to connect with the leader of their homeland.
This is the excitement that you are seeing right now behind me, which is uncontrollable, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to come here in Georgetown. And this is Indian diaspora behind me. Let's talk to them, how they are feeling. Hi ma'am, how are you feeling?
Very excited, and we can't wait more to see our honorable Prime Minister.
How are you feeling, ma'am? Prime Minister Narendra Modi is coming here in Georgetown.
I am very excited, and we are eagerly waiting for Modi ji come soon.
And how about you, sir?
We are feeling very blessed that our leader is coming in this small country, but very prestigious country. Here, 40% population of Indian community, and we are welcoming with the red carpet. And we are waiting since last 1 month, and looks like our dream is now getting completed.
It is our pleasure to welcome him here. It's really we are very blessed and privileged to have him here.
The sketch of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let's talk to the person who's taking this sketch.
I was very excited. As soon as I hear that he's coming, I already decided that I will make this and bring it here for him.
How about you?
I'm feeling very good, and we're so excited. And હું એક મોદીનો પરિવાર છું.
અમે એક ગુજરાતી પરિવાર છીએ. મોદીજી અમારો પરિવાર છે.
We are Modi family. We are from Gujarat, and we're proud of him.
Okay, definitely. We also have some diaspora here as well. Sir, you tell me, how's the excitement? What are you feeling? What's on your mind?
Oh, wow. I'm in this country since past 20 years. The moment I heard that our beloved Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is going to arrive, from that day till now, my heart is still pounding. And it's a privilege and an honor for us to have him in this country. And he's impeccable.
How about you, ma'am?
It's like a dream come true.
Oh my God, it's like a dream come true. Overexcited that our Prime Minister, the superpower, is landing to Guyana, and we would love to see him here. We are so happy. It is a blessed day for us to see him.
You can see the excitement here. Among the Indian community, Indian diaspora, who is very excited to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And they say that if they get a chance to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they will say, "Sir, you are the best leader in the world." With camera person Senthil, this is Siddharth Bhardwaj reporting for DD India in Georgetown, Guyana.
Right, they're all excited to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the Indian Arrival Monument in Georgetown stand as a powerful symbol of history and resilience, honouring the first Indian indentured immigrants who arrived in Guyana in 1838. DD India's Siddharth visited this iconic site to explore its cultural significance and also spoke to members of the Indian community about their heritage and their expectations from PM Modi's visit.
India and Guyana share strong cultural ties. In fact, 40% of the total population in Guyana comprise of Indians. I am at a historic monument right now, which marks the arrival of Indians to Guyana. And now their descendants form strong social and cultural fabric here. And this is happening for the first time, that any Indian Prime Minister is coming to Guyana for over half a century. I have some members from the Indian community here. Let's talk to them and let's ask them how excited are they?
I'm very excited like every other Guyanese because for us, he's an icon, he's a role model. And I remember one time I was in Bangalore and had the opportunity to he was at the Pravasi event and he said, and as a statement he made, it still resonates with me. And he said that despite Indians are across the world, their hearts beats for India. And for me, that's a very deep and a very profound statement. And for me, that is what makes it even more exciting that after so many years, Narendra Modi, who has really distinguished himself as a world leader, has won the admiration of many young people, especially. We followed his work, especially with the entire Ayodhya temple, the transformation that is going on in India. And of course, for us here, we're just excited to see what it brings for Guyana. Already Guyana and India has an excellent working relationship. Like I would always say that we are part of the DNA, you understand? We cannot separate India from Guyana because we are the descendants. We breed, we think, we live the culture, experience of India. So for such an iconic leader to visit us here, it's really and truly a testimony to the great relationship that exists between Guyana and India.
We are expecting a lot from Modi ji. He has visited Guyana here before, and when he was in the Parliament of India a few years ago, he's got very good friends also here. Now we expect Modi ji to, as the Indian youth is the strength of India, we want a lot of collaboration with the youth from Guyana and India, and we want to help, we want Modi ji to help Guyanese to get an excellent, broadband satellite network, so they can, it's very affordable for people to get on to the drive of digitalization, like what India has done.
The Indian community here in Guyana is very much excited, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to visit Guyana. They say that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit will certainly strengthen the bilateral ties between both the countries, and they also say that they expect a lot with Prime Minister visit. With camera person Saurabh and Senthil, this is Siddharth Bharadwaj reporting with DD India in Guyana.
And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi underlined the importance of accelerating efforts to ensure a cleaner, more sustainable future for all during the G20 Summit in Rio. Day 2 of the Brazil visit was also significant in view of India's bilateral ties with Australia, Brazil, Chile and Argentina. During their respective meetings, leaders took stock of full range of shared relationship. With the Australian counterpart, Anthony Albanese, PM Modi held the second India-Australia annual summit. We get you details in this report.
On the second day of the G20, on the sidelines of the summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held the second India-Australia annual summit and bilateral meeting with counterpart Anthony Albanese. Both leaders reiterated their commitment to further advance India-Australia comprehensive strategic partnership in myriad areas. Besides, they also welcomed the launch of renewable energy partnership. PM Modi said that in the last 2 years, India-Australia ties grew immensely in several sectors.
पिछले 2 वर्षों में हमारे आपसी व्यापार में 40% वृद्धि हुई है। रक्षा क्षेत्र में जॉइंट एक्सरसाइज, यंग ऑफिसर्स के बीच एक्सचेंज और हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स के डिप्लॉयमेंट को बढ़ावा मिला है। हमने ब्रिस्बेन में नया कॉन्सुलेट खोला है और ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने बेंगलुरु में। 2 ऑस्ट्रेलियन यूनिवर्सिटीज ने भारत में अपने कैंपस भी खोले हैं।
While Australian Prime Minister too welcomed the launch of India-Australia Renewable Energy Partnership.
There is so much potential in the relationship between Australia and India. So much more we can do together to build a stronger, safer and more prosperous future for citizens in both of our countries. Today I am delighted to welcome the launch of the India-Australia Renewable Energy Partnership. This is a significant milestone in our cooperation. Our new partnership will boost two-way investment in renewable energy projects like solar PV manufacturing, battery mineral processing, green hydrogen and green iron, build the future renewable energy workforce, including through skills and training, and ultimately unlock economic opportunities to support the net zero transition.
PM Modi also held a bilateral meeting with Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. President Lula told PM Modi that they have incorporated several things in their G20 which were also inspired from India's presidency. He added that Brazil wanted to reach the level of efficiency in organizing the summit that India had shown last year. Leaders also took stock of the full range of bilateral ties between two nations and reaffirmed their commitment to improve cooperation in sectors like energy, biofuels, defense, agriculture, and more.
With the President of Chile, the two sides discussed the potential in areas such as trade and pharmaceutical cooperation. There are discussions on a commercial cooperation agreement that are ongoing between the two sides. Meeting between Prime Minister and the President of Argentina, Javier Milei. The two leaders exchanged their thoughts and their experience in handling issues related to governance. And I should mention that in the lithium space, there's been a significant agreement signed just earlier this year between India and Argentina, whereby an Indian public sector undertaking has entered into an agreement to explore a lithium mine in Argentina. This is possibly the first such initiative by an Indian entity anywhere in the world.
After Brazil, Prime Minister Modi met Chilean President Gabriel Boric Font. India's ties with Chile are getting stronger across various sectors. The talks focused on ways to deepen relations in pharmaceuticals, technology, space, and more. PM Modi said it is gladdening to see Ayurveda gaining popularity in Chile, and ties in this sector can gain momentum. Besides, the Prime Minister also had an outstanding meeting with Argentinian President Javier Milei, after which he said that India cherishes the close friendship with Argentina. They talked about enhancing ties in energy, defense production, trade and culture. India-Argentina strategic partnership marks 5 years, adding immense vibrancy to bilateral relations. Earlier on day one of his Rio visit, Prime Minister Modi held bilateral talks with the leaders of US, the UK, France, Norway, Italy, Indonesia and Portugal. Bureau Report, DD India.
All right, so this report was about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Brazil. He attended the G20 Summit, but we'll go across to Guyana. DD India, Siddharth Bhardwaj joins us live from there. Siddharth, first of all, tell us what time the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to land, and how important is this visit of PM Modi to Guyana, which is happening after 5 decades?
Definitely, Abhishek, you said that right. That it's a historic state visit by Indian Prime Minister to Guyana. And to be very precise, after 1968, this is the first time any Indian Prime Minister is coming to Guyana. And here, before answering your question further, let me just take you across to the Indian community which is present here. Let's just talk to them. I'm at the venue where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be arriving really soon, and these people are very much excited. How excited are you? As Prime Minister is coming.
Yeah, we are really very excited, and it's a really honor for us to join this meeting. Big day for us. Yeah, this is a big day for us.
Definitely. And ma'am, what do you have to say?
We are too excited for welcoming him here. I'm not there. We waiting somewhere since 6 o'clock, and we want to come now so we can do a welcoming performance for him.
So as you can see, Abhishek, the excitement among the Indian community here, where I am in Georgetown, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be, coming really soon, and they say that they are waiting there since 6 p.m. According to the time here in Georgetown. Excitement is certainly uncontrollable, and they say that they just want to see the glimpse of Indian Prime Minister. And certainly, we have to acknowledge the fact, Abhishek, that it is under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership that the relationship between India and Guyana are growing with rapid pace. And apart from that, his vision of prosperous growth for both India and Guyana, will certainly give a boost to this particular. As you can see, excitement is certainly uncontrollable here. And people here are, waiting very much for the Indian Prime Minister I'm here in Georgetown, and you can see, excitement is really visible among people in the Indian community and diaspora, and they are very much excited for Indian Prime Minister. Who I just say that it's happening after so many years that an Indian Prime Minister is coming here, and apart from that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is coming here, who's a world leader, who's a visionary. The world looks at him, and he's truly a global leader. This is what they say, and you can see the excitement. I'm not saying anything. The world says each and everything. I don't have to even explain, the amount of excitement, which they have in them, in Georgetown. Abhishek, and, talking about the significance of this visit. This visit is very, very significant, because, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Guyana, this visit by any Indian Prime Minister, in over 5 decades, like you were also mentioning to our viewers. Apart from that, Guyana is home to large Indian diaspora. Around 40% of the population here, comprised of Indian community. They are eagerly waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi to come. He will also be meeting President Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali, and both leaders are expected to talk on various topics from defense to trade to education to infrastructure. I remember President Irfan Ali also met Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he came last year to India, during Prasar Bharati Divas, and he was also awarded with Prasar Bharati Samman. Both leaders then also had a word on wide range of topics, including infrastructure, defense, education, and apart from that, the visit also features a second India CARICOM Summit. Abhishek, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be meeting CARICOM leaders. He also met CARICOM leaders on the sidelines of United Nations General Assembly in New York. But this time around, it is happening for the first time that India CARICOM Summit is happening in a CARICOM member state.
Exactly.
So this is, that is why this particular summit holds pivotal. It's very crucial, in fact, where both India and CARICOM are expected to enhance their already established ties in the field of agriculture, in the field of healthcare, pharmaceuticals, and science and innovation. So, all in all, the summit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi is very, very significant, which will certainly strengthen the bilateral ties between two countries and also, expand India's presence in Caribbean. Abhishek.
Right, Siddharth, the excitement is palpable there. You showed us the visuals. I mean, how excited the people are behind you, and they're waiting, like you're saying, from 6 p.m. and it's around 9:40 p.m. there, if I'm not wrong. But Siddharth, Guyana is a rapidly growing nation following the discovery of oil and gas resources in the country. Energy security, you think, will be at the top of PM Modi's 3-day visit to Guyana, which has emerged as a key partner of India in the Caribbean region?
Oh, definitely. Energy security will certainly be. We can expect energy security to be one of the prime focus of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, because you see, since the time oil was found in Guyana, like it was in 2015 and 2019, somewhere around that, the commercial drilling was started. Keeping all these things into perspective, India is certainly eyeing to diversify its energy sources, Abhishek. And as far as energy security is concerned, then definitely it will be, because India, like I said, is diversifying its energy sources, and it will reduce India's dependence on other countries and other regions from where it currently imports oil. So definitely energy security will be one part. And if we can also expect an MOU on hydrocarbons. If that happens, then both the countries will mutually benefit, in the energy sector. This will also open new avenues for both India and Guyana in terms of partnership, in terms of, research and production. With India's expertise in this particular sector and Guyana's rich oil and natural gas reserves, this will be something, very, very magical between both the countries. And apart from very fact that it will also, open a new opportunity for potential economic development for Guyana, with India being its stable oil market, and as well as India's expertise, like I just mentioned, will be a boon for this already established partnership between India and Guyana. So definitely we can expect, something regarding energy security, from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Also, hydrocarbon, if that happens, I also mentioned, India is definitely looking to, like I mentioned, diversify its energy sources. It will also be very much beneficial for both the countries. So all in all, definitely, if energy security could be, we can expect energy security as a prime focus of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visits. And apart from that, it will also strengthen the historical ties between two countries and also cultural ties between two countries. In fact, Abhishek, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing the Guyanese parliament, which is, a gesture which underscores India's commitment to democracy and also at the same time strengthening people-to-people ties. Narendra Modi's popularity in the entire world, we all know, everyone admires him, and the Indian community is standing behind me. They are also saying that Narendra Modi is a leader. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is a leader to whom the world looks at, and he's a global leader. And if you get a chance, to meet him, they will say, "Sir, you're the best leader in the world."
Right, Siddharth. Also, I mean, you spoke about energy security and also about the hydrocarbons, but India is not just looking forward to boost energy security, but is also seeking, you think, strengthen the standing among the global South nations and also the Caribbean region?
Definitely, like I just mentioned, Abhishek, when both Indian Prime Minister and the President, Irfan Ali will be meeting, they'll be having, we can expect both the leaders to have wide range of discussions on, areas like infrastructure, healthcare, education, and this will further strengthen the already established partnership between both the countries in these particular sectors. Because if you, take education, then India's ITEC program, which is Indian Technical Economic Cooperation, through this particular program, Abhishek, around 800 Guyanese professionals have been trained by India. And apart from that, if you talk about Guyana's education program, then it's called Goal, which has collaboration, in fact, with 4 universities in Guyana, with the Jain University and IGNU University being 2 of them. So all in all, if I talk about the healthcare sector, that India also provided around 80,000 Covishield vaccines to Guyana, to battle, to help Guyana battle the COVID-19 pandemic. Also provided some $1 billion to enhance Guyana's healthcare sector. Apart from that, $500,000 US dollars were also provided by India to Guyana. So all in all, this is healthcare sector. When it comes to defense and defense, as a matter of fact, India has provided Guyana with 2 PC-8 Dornier aircraft to act to Guyana's fleet, and also the collaboration in cyber security is also going on. So all in all, these are already established sectors which are further expected to strengthen with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit. So not just hydrocarbon, India will be looking to partner with Guyana in these particular sectors as well. In fact, strengthening the partnership in these particular sectors. Apart from that, like I just mentioned, Abhishek, second, the India-CARICOM Summit will also take place, and this is the first time that the summit is happening in a CARICOM member state. Earlier, when it happened, it was on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. So, Abhishek, when it comes to India-CARICOM, this partnership is also very crucial, which will help India to strengthen, to expand, its presence, to expand its presence in the Caribbean region. And apart from the very fact, we can also expect cooperation in areas like agriculture, healthcare, defense, and apart from that, there are some other sectors as well in which we can expect the partnership between India and CARICOM. So this summit will be very, very crucial for both India and CARICOM. Apart from the very fact, Abhishek, Guyana is poised as breadbasket of Caribbean, and it is in fact trying to bring down the food import bills of entire CARICOM, by 2025, which amounts to somewhere around $1 billion US. So yes, definitely this partnership between India and CARICOM is also very crucial. And apart from the very fact, this visit by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in fact, a historic state visit by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will strengthen ties between India and Guyana, and will also, expand India's presence in the Caribbean region.
Siddharth, also, India is also tapping into Guyana's unique history. I mean, nearly 40% of the nation's population is of the Indian origin. And there's a cricket connection too. I mean, you talk about Rohan Kanhai, Lance Gibbs, Clive Lloyd, Shiv Narayan Chandrapal, Ram Naresh Sawan, all hail from Guyana.
Definitely, Abhishek, you said that, right? Sports unite, and there is no doubt about the very fact. And since you mentioned the 40% of population, of Guyana is comprised Indians. That's very, very true. In fact, when we were having word with, Diaspora, in fact, here also when I was having word with the Indian Diaspora, it was standing behind me, they were saying that, they still follow, Indian culture. They love Indian culture, and their roots goes back to India, and they cannot just take India out of them in any case. So all in all, definitely, like I just mentioned, cricket, which unites people, and apart from the very fact that Indian tradition and culture, which people here have in them, will certainly add another boost, when it comes to people connect, cultural connect, historical connect between India and Guyana. Abhishek.
Siddharth, you want to speak to the people again who are waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi to have a glimpse of them. I mean, what is so special? Ask them what is so special about Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Why do they like him so much?
Definitely. Here we have Indian Diaspora and community standing here. Tell us, why do you like Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
Because he is deserving.
He is deserving. And you, ma'am?
And I have two lines for him.
So Abhishek, you could hear this beautiful song by the Indian community, and also answer to your questions that why the Indian community here in Guyana like Prime Minister Narendra Modi so much. They say that he's deserving. They say he's world leader. They say that they really want to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and they want to thank him for everything. They want to say, sir, you're the best leader in the world. And they also say that world today is looking at Prime Minister Narendra Modi for various reasons. Abhishek.
All right, Siddharth, you want to share the schedule of Prime Minister Modi again? I mean, he'll land at the airport, and who will receive him? And also then he'll go straight to the hotel, and that's where you are, and people will welcome him outside the hotel?
Definitely. Abhishek, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be landing in Guyana, and then after that he will be coming there where I am at Bunny, and we'll be meeting the community, we'll be meeting and greeting them. And Indian community which is standing there will be meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi as they eagerly wait for their beloved Prime Minister to come here and to say hello to them. They're just waiting since long hours just to say hello to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. After that, there is a series of programs tomorrow also, Abhishek, on day after. This is the view which I can share with you right now. But apart from the very fact that excitement is energetic, it's uncontrollable here. Whenever we go from this corner to the another corner here, the venue where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be, Indian community, just saying that they are eagerly waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi to arrive, and they just want to see Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and if get a chance, they will feel themselves lucky for their entire life.
So that also, like you said, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to hold talks with the President of Guyana, Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali, and address a special session of Guyana's Parliament. How big is that? What details you have on that?
This is very big, Abhishek. In fact, this is very, very big because, like I also mentioned, that when President Irfan Ali visited India in 2023, in the 17th Prasar Bharati over there, in fact, he was awarded Prasar Bharati of the month. He met Prime Minister Narendra Modi then also in 2023. Both of them had a discussion why doing this purpose, the sector of the area which covers from defense to infrastructure, to education, to energy. And this time around as well, they believe they are expected to focus on these particular sectors apart from some other areas. But this is very, very important because this will certainly strengthen the ties between both the countries. Given the very fact that Guyana this time around is experiencing a significant transformation when it comes to its economy, transport, the oil sector. And this time around, India, wants to, partner with Guyana, in Guyana's transformative phase. And like you said, that it will also strengthen India's energy security. If the MOU on a hydrocarbon will be there, then it will certainly benefit the country when it comes to energy sector. And that's when it comes to India's experience in all these fields, and then it is invaluable, it is immense, and it will benefit Guyana. Apart from the very fact that both the countries, they are collaborating, they are expected to collaborate in the hydrocarbon sector. Both the countries have a common goal of transitioning to renewable energy, sustainable development. And if I talk to you about India's renewable energy goals, then it's certainly to increase the renewable capacity by around 500 gigawatts. To reduce the pollution also, to become net zero by 2070. And in fact, all royalties which Guyana gets, it invests that money to transit, to finance the transition to renewable energy. So, all in all, we can say that both countries have a common goal of sustainable development. Renewable energy, is the prime focus. In fact, if I talk to you about the energy assistance by India to Guyana, India has provided around 30,000 solar panels to the hinterland community in Guyana. And in fact, Guyana was so happy with these solar panels that around 6,000 additional solar panels were also ordered by Guyana. So all in all, this is like I just mentioned, and I will again say it was a historic visit by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Right, Siddharth, it's indeed it is a historic visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Guyana, and we all are waiting for PM Modi to land at Guyana. Thank you for the time being, but yes, we'll keep taking updates from you. All right, now Foreign Affairs expert Mr. Atul Taneja is also joining us to talk more on this. Welcome to DD India, Mr. Taneja. Appreciate you giving us your precious time. First of all, tell us how important is the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Guyana, which is happening after 5 decades, 56 years to be precise. How crucial you think this visit is of PM Modi to Guyana?
Abhishek, it's an exceptionally important visit. And you see, it goes within the framework of India's pledge to engage with the global south. Yeah. You see, at the G20 Summit, which India hosted, we had made it very clear that, in fact, the G20's orientation and India's own foreign policy orientation will be global south oriented. And now we are walking the talk. You see, we are engaging various geographies of the global south. Africa was one of them, which continues to be. And now we are adding more countries to it. And Guyana is definitely one of them. There is a strong Indian diaspora angle to it. So there's a very strong fundamental people-to-people connect with Guyana. And apart from that is that there are various new sectors which have come into the picture, which New India boasts of. And as your correspondent had said, energy sector, renewable energy, extremely important. So I think we are expanding our process of engagement with the global south, and with Guyana especially, we have very strong historic links. So it's a revival of a very strong and reinforcement of a very strong bond between India and Guyana. So I think we are moving beyond the Indian Ocean periphery. We are going into other areas now. We're going into the Pacific. And I think that's great. In fact, Prime Minister's own visit to Nigeria was towards the Atlantic. So I think the rising India story is being reflected in its expansion of engagement. And I think that makes this visit very, very historic.
Indeed, Mr. Neja, also, I mean, India is tapping into Guyana's unique history, and like you also mentioned, nearly 40% of the nation's population is of the Indian origin.
Exactly. I mean, that brings us a very fundamental connect between the Indian mainland and some of the areas, some of the other geographies. So I think Guyana is a very clear example of that. Bhojpuri, I think, is still being spoken in those parts. There's a lot of cultural connect here, Abhishek. Those countries have evolved a unique kind of cultural tradition without losing the fundamental connect with the Indian mainland. It's a revival of a relationship in a way, and I think that gives it a X factor, the entire Indian, engagement with Guyana and with the Caribbean region as a whole.
Mr. Neja, also, I mean, we saw DD India's Mr. Dhaat, I mean, he's there at Guyana, and he showed us how excited people are. I mean, they've been waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi since 3-4 hours, and I mean, the excitement is there. I mean, they just want to have a glimpse of PM Modi. And also, Prime Minister Modi, the personal rapport and the bond that he shares with, I mean, we saw with President Joe Biden, Anthony Albanese, Donald Trump too, with Arab countries coming from America, Saudi Arabia, King, UAE also. He invests a lot of time in building personal equation, and do you think it creates a lot of impact? Chemistry matters and leaders matter.
Yes, both. The chemistry of it is very important. And this is what Prime Minister Modi is known for. It comes naturally to him, this personal connect with in fact, not only with leaders, but with all sections. You will see here that when he meets the diaspora people, the natural connection will show. And he's equally comfortable and makes that connection with the leaders in very elite circles. So this is a special quality which the Prime Minister has. I think there is a very important people-to-people orientation here, Abhishek, that, India during COVID had shown that how it became a first responder in a way to provide vaccines and medicines to countries in the global south. And if my memory goes right, Guyana was one of the beneficiaries of that initiative. So there is that, image of India as a country which has benign friendship and which goes out of your way at the time when chips are down for you. So that's something which comes in with, especially with the countries of global south. I think Guyana, that makes that relationship very special, because India was responsible in saving lives of people in these countries. So I think that makes him, that is the Prime Minister, a very popular leader. So it's not something which is a bond which is skin deep, and it shows in the way the Prime Minister is received. That it's a question of hearts and minds here, and there's a connection of hearts and minds and personal connect and personal chemistry which you spoke about.
Mr. Neja, also PM Modi is set to hold talks with the President of Guyana, Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali, and address a special session of Guyana's Parliament also. How crucial is that? How big is that? I mean, he'll be addressing Guyana's Parliament.
No, it's very important, but it shows the way the leadership of Guyana is approaching the visit. I mean, it's a complete red carpet welcome for the Prime Minister. And it is always an honor to address all the parliamentarians, which means that the entire elite of Guyana will be present during that session. So the engagement is very deep. It shows by the program. And Abhishek, if I may add, there is also the cricket connection between India and Guyana. And, that is a soft power element which India very strongly shares with Guyana. I mean, they produce some great cricketers, and
right. If I can name a few of the cricketers, I mean, who belong from Guyana. I mean, Lance Gibbs, Sir Clive Lloyd, the great name that comes to the mind, Shiv Narayan Chandrapal, Ram Naresh Sawan. I mean, all hail from Guyana. Carl Hooper too, former West Indies captain.
what solid names these are, Abhishek.
Yeah.
I mean, they have regaled not only the Guyanese, but the entire cricket world. Of course, Clive Lloyd and Chandrapal were probably before the T20 came into the picture.
Yeah.
But as I was growing up, I fed on Alvin Kalicher, and of course, he was, I think, in Port of Spain, and Clive Lloyd when he captained the West Indian team to a memorable series in 1975. It's fantastic. So there's layers and layers of connection between India and Guyana. And it's fantastic to see our Prime Minister visiting a country after 56 years.
You think that will be mentioned by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also President of Guyana, Muhammad Ali, Dr. Irfan Ali? I mean, that connection is there. I mean, when President Ramnath Kovind had visited Jamaica, I mean, he also mentioned about that. I think one MOU was also signed. But I think the cricket connection that both nations share, that will be mentioned when they meet each other?
I suppose I'll be very surprised if it isn't. It's such a strong connection which links people of India and the people of Guyana. And no leader, I think, is going to miss that out. But I can't read beyond the Prime Minister's mind. But I think it should be there. And frankly, Abhishek, you talked about an agreement being signed in Jamaica. I personally feel that we have lost out in the cricketing world with West Indies not being what it used to be. So if there can be any support from the Indian side to the West Indian revival of West Indian cricket, I think that's something we should really look at.
Yeah. And Mr. Aneja, I mean, Guyana is a rapidly growing nation following the discovery of oil and gas resources in the country. Energy security will be, you think, at the top of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's agenda when he visits Guyana. I mean, he'll be landing shortly. And this sector has emerged as a key partner of India in the Caribbean region.
Yes, Abhishek, absolutely. And India as a rising economy is always, there's a huge demand for energy of all kinds. So, oil and gas is definitely, and Guyana coming into the equation of Indian energy security would be, I think, very, very much in the talking points. Abhishek, we also need to diversify our procurement of energy. If you see what's happening in West Asia, North Africa, especially after what's happened with the Palestinian issue, I mean, you can't be dependent on one region which can be grappled into geopolitical tensions. India's growth story is dependent on energy. I think it's great that we diversify our energy procurement, whether it is from Russia or whether it is from Africa or it is from the Caribbean. So that's important, the oil and gas element. But also, I think the renewable energy part is an important element as well of Indian investment taking place in renewable energy. So overall, energy would, I suppose, be a very important element of the parlays which take place when Prime Minister lands there in Guyana.
Also, I mean, India is not just looking forward to boost energy security, but is also, you think, seeking to strengthen the standing among the global South nations and also the Caribbean region?
That's very much there, because, the global South focus is something which is India is very self-consciously going ahead with the engagement of the global South. And you see, that should be, and rightly so, because there is an Indian model of development, of how the economy has transitioned from here, and we are an emerging economy, $3 trillion economies knocking on the doors of a $5 trillion economy, world's third largest. It's a fascinating story for the rest of the global South, not to completely adopt, but learn from the Indian model. And I think that is where the global South India equation comes into the picture, whether it is, our financial inclusion when it comes to it, our advances in digital payments, for example, the entire the healthcare story, how India became the pharmacy of the world from a very low base. I think these are all, there are derivatives here for the global south. So the visit is purely not bilateral, but I think it has the sense of a deeper engagement of India with the global south. And I think the CARICOM countries are also meeting all the representatives here. So we are not engaging one country alone here. We are engaging an entire region of the global south. Our focus had been a lot on Africa at one time, some of our neighboring countries, but I think we are expanding into the Caribbean as well as India's stature rises from a regional power to a provider of services to the entire globe. So it was in tune with the changing self-perception of India as it engages with the rest of the world. And we have the doctrine of the world is one family. I think that is the basic understanding with which this deeper engagement is going on. And one earth, one family. I think these are the kind of templates with which the surge in engagement of the global south has begun. And as I said, it got very visible attention during last year's G20 Summit, which India had hosted.
Mr. Neja, like you said, visit to Guyana marks a significant milestone in India's foreign policy towards the Caribbean and Latin American regions. And you think this high-level diplomatic engagement underlines India's commitment to strengthening its relationship with the Caribbean?
Yes, definitely so. You see, what happens is then when you have heads of state visit, they lay the framework for a deeper engagement. Now you downstream it. And you will downstream it, as you spoke, energy would be one of the verticals. I'm sure agriculture will come into the picture. The digital economy will come into the picture. Education is may come into the picture. So tourism may come into the picture. So there are various verticals which get defined when a head of state visit takes place. So I think this is how you set the ball rolling. And then we have this also this concept of joint commission meetings with several countries. I suppose all that will follow after the Prime Minister's visit. There's also a strategic element into it. I think that will also may not be ignored because India has now deep strategic interest just beyond the Indian Ocean in the entire Indo-Pacific region. So I think that element will also come into the framework which India would like to define. It's a deeper relationship with the Caribbean, which includes Guyana, of course.
And a visit to Guyana is part of, you think, is a broader strategy to strengthen India's presence in Latin America and the Caribbean amid rising global interest in the region?
Absolutely. And, there's also, Abhishek, a special focus with countries with Indian diaspora populations. If you recall, though the diaspora population may not have been too much, but a Prime Minister's visit to Papua New Guinea, and that was a very important sort of a moment where India walked the talk in its commitment to the countries of the Indo-Pacific. I think that's what's continued now. And we have moved now into another territory with which again there is diaspora element, there is a strong historical connect and cultural connect. And we move on that track far beyond our borders. It's an elaboration of India's new foreign policy. Conceptually, we were together with that, but you're doing something concrete in tune with a rising India is something which is novel and new.
And what do you think will be the expected outcomes of the visit? Anticipated to yield concrete outcomes that will benefit both nations in the long run?
Yes, Abhishek, but it's hard to actually pin down what exactly would be the outcome. We'll have to wait for it, but one can see the broad outlines and framework within which our agreements are likely to follow. But to nail it exactly would be a little difficult right now. Perhaps if we have another conversation tomorrow, I'd be in a better position to answer that.
But you talked about soft power. I want to talk about that. We saw the visuals from Guyana. People waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. When our correspondent spoke to them, they said that they just want to have a share glimpse of PM Modi I mean, they sang Vande Mataram also when it gone to Nigeria also. I mean, there was a community event in Brazil also. I mean, people, why do you think people are so fond, not only in India, outside also, why do you think they are so fond of the Indian Prime Minister?
What the Prime Minister has been able to establish is that you belong to us, in the sense there is a connection, that we care for you. I mean, that sentiment somehow has got demonstrated, and wherever there is diaspora population, it comes alive. Second thing is, people like successful people, and Prime Minister Modi is now a world leader, and the people take pride in that and would like to get connected with such an individual, especially when he has such charisma and connect. He's like a rock star in global politics now, and we saw yesterday the G20. I mean, some of the pictures which came where he was at the center of events, the way he engaged with world leaders, we saw it only yesterday. So it established that relationship of a rising India, and that we belong, that is the people who come to meet him, we are also part of that story. So I think people like to get connected with this narrative of a rising India from where they originate, and Prime Minister Modi become the symbol of that rise. So I think that, to my mind, explains why there is such a rousing welcome by people wherever he goes, far beyond India's borders.
When we look ahead, Mr. Aneja, I mean, a new chapter in India-Guyana relations?
Absolutely. India-Guyana relation, India-Caribbean relations. But I think we have to now, Abhishek, the challenge will be to follow it up. And, the ground would be open now.
Yeah.
Now the heavy lifting begins after that. And I think we need to pursue it and not lose focus on this. As we expand in various geographies, from Africa to Caribbean to Eurasia, right up to the Arctic. I mean, it's a huge foreign policy challenge, to be honest. Probably unprecedented, because this is the level of engagement that is now expected of India in a changing world order is enormous. I think we have to now meet the challenge because people want us to be there. And for us, it's important to be prepared to actually give concrete shape to the expectations, not only of Indians, but also now people overseas. And that's a huge responsibility which our bureaucracies, our foreign ministries, and Abhishek, to be honest, media people, just ordinary people who travel abroad. There's an expectation of a certain form, of a certain code of conduct and behavior from us. And I think that is the responsibility, not only at the official realm, but at the people-to-people, ordinary people's level.
All right, Mr. Aneja, stay with us. We'll come back to you. But yes, the excitement is palpable in Georgetown as the Indian diaspora eagerly awaits Prime Minister Narendra Modi's arrival. DD India's Siddharth Bhardwaj spoke with the members of the community at the very venue where the Prime Minister will soon make his presence.
This is the excitement that you are seeing right now behind me, which is uncontrollable, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to come here in Georgetown. And this is the Indian diaspora behind me. Let's talk to them, how they are feeling. Hi ma'am, how are you feeling?
Very excited, and we can't wait more to see our honorable Prime Minister.
How are you feeling, ma'am? Prime Minister Narendra Modi is coming here in Georgetown.
I am very excited, and we are eagerly waiting for Modi ji come soon.
And how about you, sir?
We are feeling very blessed that our leader is coming in this small country, but very prestigious country. Here, 40% population of Indian community, and we are welcoming with the red carpet. And we are waiting since last 1 month, and looks like our dream is now getting completed.
It is our pleasure to welcome him here. It's really we are very blessed and privileged to have him here.
The sketch of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let's talk to the person who's taking this sketch.
I was very excited as soon as I hear that he's coming. I already decided that I will make this and bring it here for him.
How about you?
I'm feeling very good and we're so excited. And હું એક મોદીનો પરિવાર છું.
અમે એક ગુજરાતી પરિવાર છીએ. મોદીજી અમારો પરિવાર છે.
We are Modi family. We are from Gujarat and we're proud of him.
Definitely. We also have some diaspora here as well. Sir, you tell me, how's the excitement? What are you feeling? What's on your mind?
Oh wow, I'm in this country since past 20 years. The moment I heard that our beloved Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi is going to arrive, from that day till now, my heart is still pounding, pounding, pounding. And it's a privilege and an honor for us to have him in this country. And he is like, he's impeccable.
How about you, ma'am?
Oh my God, it's like a dream come true. Overexcited that our Prime Minister, the superpower, is landing to Guyana, and we would love to see him here. We are so happy. It is a blessed day for us to see him.
You can see the excitement here, among the Indian community, Indian diaspora, who is very excited to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And they say that if they get a chance to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they will say, "Sir, you are the best leader in the world." With camera person Senthil, this is Prasar Bharati reporting for DD India in Georgetown, Guyana.
And Georgetown is buzzing with excitement as Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting Guyana. Adding to the vibrancy of his visit, a local cultural dance group is set to showcase a stunning performance. They have poured their hearts into rehearsals. Speaking to DD India, the performers shared their emotions on how they are feeling and how excited they are.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to embark on a state visit to Guyana. And I have with me here a cultural dance group who will be performing for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let's ask them how excited are they.
I am very excited. I'm anxious as well.
I'm very, very excited because since 1 year I was waiting for this visit, and I'm really glad that we got this opportunity to perform in front of him.
I'm so excited, and our practice is going on, 12 hours, 13 hours, and we are so glad and so excited to see our dear Prime Minister in this beautiful country.
I'm very excited because this took a lot of work.
Actually very excited. It's honestly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so I'm really glad to be a part of it.
I'm really excited. I'm a bit anxious too, because who wouldn't be anxious to be performing in front of the Prime Minister? And as it is about our Indian culture and traditions, yes, we celebrate most, if not all, of our culture and our traditions and our festivals in Guyana.
So you saw this is the dance group which is which will going to perform in front of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and they say that they are nervous, but at the same time they are very excited as well. Indeed, it's a historic state visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. To be very precise, after 1968, this is the first time when an Indian Prime Minister is coming to Guyana. It will certainly give a boost to the bilateral ties between both the countries, and excitement, as you saw, is in the air. With camera person Senthil, this is Siddharth Bhardwaj reporting for DD India in Georgetown, Guyana.
Yes, they are all excited to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Guyana, and they have been waiting to have a glimpse of him. And yes, I'm sure, PM Modi will also get a thunderous welcome. Mr. Aneja continues to stay with us. Mr. Aneja, you saw the visuals, and we have already discussed about it, that how people are set to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and what is so special, so good about PM Modi, soft power that we spoke about. But how will you rate Prime Minister Narendra Modi's three-nation tour? He had gone to Nigeria first and then Brazil for the G20. He met several ministers, several leaders also, world leaders across the world. And he also addressed an event on the topic sustainable development and energy transition. How do you see the visit of PM Modi in all three nations, Nigeria, Brazil and now Guyana?
All three had different flavor, but some common threads as well, Abhishek. There is a bilateral element to the relationship. Of course, that comes through. Whether it is Nigeria or whether it's going to be Guyana. Of course, Brazil as well had a bilateral element of India, Brazil, but essentially it was a G20 multilateral event. It's a new connections which India is building to old relationships. and giving it certain new directions. As India's economy changes, India's people-to-people diplomacy changes, it gets reflected in the way the visits take place. And Nigeria was very, very important. There was new elements in the bilateral equation which got into it. Defense, energy, education. Nigeria also has a good film industry called Nollywood. I think that's another area which probably is getting explored. And plus Nigeria is also a member of the G20 and a very important player in Western African region. It is also one of the contenders for the UN security expansion, but that's for the African society. So there were different elements, strands in that visit. But the common theme beyond that was, India had batted for the global south. India had got the African Union as part of did its utmost to get them as part of the G20, which succeeded when India hosted the G20 event. So it was a reflection of India's very strong and powerful engagement with Africa in general, with the global south in general. The global south theme comes into play here in Guyana as well. Again, there are various areas in which there are likely to be agreement signed. There is an energy element coming into play. The difference a bit between Nigeria here, of course, there's a diaspora population in Nigeria as well. But when you see in Guyana, this diaspora population is probably more deep-rooted than in Nigeria. And the number of, like a gentleman who was talking to Siddharth mentioned, about 40% of the population of Guyana is of Indian origin. That's a huge number. So the Indian connect when it comes to Guyana is more pronounced than it was with Nigeria. The soft power elements we think will be stronger over here. Plus there is again the strategic element which comes in with India's presence over there. I'll be curious to see if there is any humanitarian disaster relief is one of the areas where we are first responders to various crises which take place. Whether there is an element of that which is reflected in Guyana, and if there is any strategic element in terms of defense cooperation which comes into the picture when it comes to Guyana, there's something to be seen. That was definitely there in the case of Nigeria. But over here, it's a little different flavor. Size of economies are also there, which makes a difference. But you see, the cultural element is so strong here, Abhishek, and that, this festive kind of a reception, it's not a normal reception. You saw the dance troupe, they've been practicing for months for this visit to take place. So that buzz you can sense over here. So G20, of course, was a very important one because India on the global stage again. Again, batting, one common thread again with all three is batting for the global south. Even when it comes to in the G20 in Brazil, the Prime Minister made his statement about how to eradicate global hunger and poverty, and elaborated quite extensively on the Indian model, which we spoke about a little earlier, of how we went about solving some of our most difficult and intractable problems, with whether it was on the poverty front, elimination of poverty, or when it came to the use of technology for improving the lives of ordinary people. Healthcare, etc. The pension scheme, which the Prime Minister mentioned, that people above 75 years now can avail free healthcare. I mean, these are elements which I'm sure countries in the global south can benefit from. So G20 also reflected the global south and India as a partner, as a friend. A friend who can do this hand-holding for the global south. Second thing, Abhishek, is the global south is also very important for a rise of India's own economy. There's a geo-economic angle here as well. As we transition into the new economy, we have to be present and establish relations with countries which are resource-rich countries. Without resources, our economy, we have ultimately the goal, what we're looking at is 2047 when we become a developed country. And to do that, we need to engage with countries which can provide us with resources. Of course, we are not going to be like a colonial power, just extractive. I'm sure there are a lot of investment which will come from India, which will benefit countries in the global south. But you have to realize that that is another element which is activating such deep engagement with the global south. Essentially, we are not doing a favor to them. It's actually a win-win relationship, and a very happy, a cordial win-win relationship.
All right, Mr. Neja, stay with us. We'll come back to you. But yes, Guyana hopes to expand its cooperation with India into newer areas such as energy and food security, technology and military hardware. In an exclusive interview to DD India's Ramesh Ramachandran, Guyana's President Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali says that he has personally witnessed the transformation of India under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Global leadership does not happen by accident. Global leadership occurs when you have strong local leadership in the country itself. And Prime Minister Modi has demonstrated a strength of leadership that has really positioned India globally and has opened up many opportunities for India and a greater level of regard for India. So what I've seen in India is a country that is accelerating at a rapid pace.
And President Ali says that he wants Guyana to benefit from India's success in the fields of digitalization and innovation.
Within the coming weeks, we will launch our Forest Guyana Digital School, which is built off of an Indian platform. We have thousands of students studying online at various Indian universities. So what I would say is that a lot of the technological advancement in improving governance efficiency, improving access to service, expanding access to service that you have mastered. Of course, we want to learn and to adopt those technologies here.
Yes, and you can watch the full interview of the President of Guyana at 9 a.m. India time, that is 3:30 GMT on Wednesday. Before we wind up, Mr. Aneja, I mean, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will co-chair the India CARICOM Summit. All right, we'll come back to it, but just very quickly, if you can give your reaction on this. He'll be addressing the India CARICOM. He'll be co-chairing, in fact, the India CARICOM Summit. How significant is that?
Very significant, Abhishek. We do it as a collective, and I think India's engagement this reflects India's engagement not just with one country but with an entire region, and I think that's very significant.
All right, Mr. Neja, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for giving us your precious time. We'll slip into a very short break, but yes, our special broadcast of PM Modi in Guyana continues.